And we're live. I'm gonna
Oh,
say this every time. It's like every time I go live, it's been like 200 times or something by now. I'm like, and we're live. Welcome back, Damien, to our 3-day build.
thank you.
Yeah. We've realized we're not going to get done with the template, but we will be able, well, like we've been able to like do all of the kind of important features. We've like gone through all the important features, and then we'll have to off camera just clean up the template and like make all the pages. But I don't think it would be interesting to see us like build out every single design thing in every single breakpoint. But today on Wednesday's stream, we added login and or sign up, login, and a profile component from Outseta so that people can sign up to be your fan funding. I'm going to call this fan funded. So, but like be your Patreon. And like, yeah, the login and the register and all of that. And then today we are going to make it so that we lock down certain posts. So they're only available to the logged in users who have funded you, become your Patreon. I don't know what words to use. And then we're going to get some help from Damien on creating responsive designs in Framer. I'm going to learn how to do that because so far I've just like used ready-made templates and framers, and not being a designer, I haven't played too much with that part of it, just kind of the coding part. But I'm getting so hooked on Framer. It's not like this is awesome. Anyway, maybe I should just stop chatting. Welcome back, Damien, our designer and Framer partner, who still hasn't got a t-shirt from Framer. Shame on you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can live
Yeah.
without the official t-shirt. Like, look at me. I got the Outseta t-shirt on. Not that it really shows on stream, but yeah. Should we just get to it? I thought first we'll add the Outseta protected content, and then we'll do the breakpoints.
Yes.
And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask, and we'll try to answer them on stream. So
Let's go.
I'm gonna move you over on this side, and then we're gonna add to stage. So we're gonna be doing some protected content, and that means, like, let's go to our published fan-funded website. That means that if I am on this like members only one, now I can click on this one, but let's say I could, how do I get to the page? Oh, we haven't added links yet.
No.
So we'll have to
No.
do that afterwards too. But
Yeah.
if you click on this one and it wants to take you to that page, we wanted not to be possible to go to that page, and not just when you're clicking, also when you're going to that URL directly from the URL bar. So we could try that now and show like how that, like if we have that, this is a locked post. The URL, the full URL is this. Can I not copy this framework? That would have, there, I could copy it. So if I then go to this locked post, this is a locked post. I should not be able to get onto this page if I am not logged in. And if we look at our website, I don't think we are logged in. No. So we're not logged in, so we should not be able to get access to this page. And the way we decided to indicate a locked post versus a non-locked post was to just add locked dash in the slug for the page. So for this page, the URL bar is tiny for those watching. So it says the full URL, and then it's /post/locked dash, and then another post is the name of this, is the slug of this post. So we want to lock that down with Outseta, and we're going to do it, and then it can take up to 10 minutes to take effect. So we'll do it, and then we can maybe do the responsive bit and then go back and have a look. So we'll go into Outseta, and we call it protected content, and you can create different groups. So we'll do, this is locked content or member only content. And we decided that it starts with posts. Was it posts or post? Because it has to be exact. Yeah. Post locked dash. So there are different ways of doing it. We have equals, and then we have starts with. So we want to do the starts with. So we'll do post locked dash. And if you're denied access, we'll just send you back to the front page. And we want that to be accessible to the post. What did I call my plan? Full access. There we go. Full access. So so let's call it full access content. Full access content. So this should only be available for the people on the full access plan. Save. And then as it says here, this might take up to 10 minutes to propagate, but the idea then is that when we get back to this page, we should not be allowed to be on this page anymore because we've set up the protected content in Outseta. I'm just going to double check and see if I think, yeah, I did it wrong. I did equals. We want to do starts with. So let's save. And then hopefully, yeah, starts with. So then, since it takes up to 10 minutes, like it's, gotta get it right. And then as we can see here, note about security. So all of these kind of no code ways of locking content is on the client side. So a user could turn off JavaScript and get access to this data. But with a Framer site, like the whole site will fall apart if you don't have JavaScript enabled, since it is a React site behind the React app behind the scenes, under the hood, behind the scenes. I was mixing two behind the hood. That is not a that doesn't mean anything. But yeah, so you don't want to have like health information or like super sensitive content, locked in this way. But it's a good way to kind of nudge people to upgrade to be able to access your content. Okay, so let's see if it's taken effect yet. And it's taken effect. That did not take 10 minutes. And we're back to this page. So if I try to log in, queen at Ray Codes, and it was testing. We log in and we try to go back to this same website. We are now allowed to see this website. Huh? That was pretty nifty. Are you impressed, Damien? Say yes.
I am.
So that's pretty that was pretty fast. We got that working pretty fast. And we're not going to do that on this stream, but I also want to explore how we could do this in a medium style way, where instead of locking the full page, we'll say that you're allowed to read the excerpt, but then we just lock down the bigger content portion. Imagine on Medium, you often get to see the post, but then it kind of fades in behind the sign up now overlay. So after we've been playing around now with Framer and Outseta, I've been like, oh, how can I do that with code overrides? So that's going to be a more advanced version of this that I hope to make in the next couple of weeks. Okay.
Nice.
So the other thing we were going to look at today, this is going to be the shortest stream ever, Damien, because you said your thing is probably fast too. Because we were going to have a look at how to make this responsive. Because right now, if I make it small, this doesn't look good. And also if I make it big, I don't know if you wanted this to be aligned or if you wanted it to be kind of off to the side.
Yeah, I need it to be centered. So that's one thing that we can look into.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay. So here's the page. Like this is the full page layout. How do I go about making it so that it also works on mobile or on smaller screens?
Yeah. So the thing that you've got to understand with Framer is so the process that I went through is designing this page in Figma, and then you've got this nice little plugin that you can use that's called Figma to Framer, and so you basically copy all of your layers from Figma into Framer, and it sort of looks good from the outset, because what it's going to do is going to take pretty much everything. There are a lot of values that are going to change from one platform to the other, except drop shadows. It's not porting the right way still right now, but I think they're going to fix
Okay.
that soon.
Yeah.
But outside of
So
that,
you didn't draw this in Framer. You drew this in Figma, and then like boom, it came into Framer.
yeah, exactly. And
It's like Framer
like I
just
said,
keeps
for
blowing
the
my mind.
yeah, it's pretty
Keeps blowing my
that
mind.
plugin is really good. Like it's the one plugin that you cannot miss when you
Okay.
doing Figma to Framer. And most of it comes like really good into Framer, but you've got to redo certain things. And the reason being, it looks good when you have this desktop view, but then as soon as you try to have these responsive properties to your website, then it starts to fall apart because it's not meant to be copy paste and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you do that, if you go in the layers tab in the left hand side column, so you've got your desktop folder or main thing there. And then what I've done is I've basically took everything that I had from Framer and I dropped them into stacks. And that's the best way
Mm.
to organize your content in Framer. Take everything, put them into stacks. The type of stacks that you choose depends very much like in CSS. When you're using Flexbox, you're choosing like a direction for your
Okay, so
stacks.
this top bar here is a column stack where it stacks sideways, and then this
Yes.
profile top it stacks vertical.
Yeah, exactly. And if you go inside the top bar, for example,
Mm-hmm.
there's more. There's like a container
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to contain these two columns in like this space that we have there. Then if you
Mm-hmm.
open the container, you have more. And I think it's probably another set of stacks, especially for the
Mm.
buttons because they are sitting side by side. So you're using the
Yeah.
column again. And that's the way it works in a nutshell. And it's pretty powerful. And if you, for example, you see at the top of your artboard, you've got desktop 1200.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little plus at the far right. You click that, you choose a breakpoint. That's how you go about responsive. So once you are pretty certain that your hierarchy and the way that you've set everything up on the desktop view is
Mm-hmm.
working, then you click
Mm-hmm.
tablet. And if
Okay.
you click tablet now, you
Oh.
realize that most of it, I'd say most of it, not everything, but most of it is working. And the reason it's working is because, and it's not for the avatar because it's something I didn't see potentially do as well as the others, but
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with pretty much like Flexbox, right? You've got a
Mm-hmm.
container that is taking the full width of your screen, and
Mm-hmm.
inside that container you have a certain defined size that you are working with, and so you can have these margins on the side, and you can have your content nicely centered in the viewport, and that's the way it
So
works. And I think
so we can
it's yeah,
click tablet. We can just do the and then we do phone.
you can do the phone one, and now you see
Here we
that
need to work.
it's a bit too big because the size that I've worked with was, I think, 720 pixels
Mm-hmm.
wide.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of still works on tablet because it's still small enough. But now you've got to
Mm-hmm.
go on the mobile view. You select one of the containers, the ones that I've set at 720, which is probably for this one specifically.
Yeah, so this
Um,
one we then want to do just 100% then.
Then either you do 100% or you just change the size to whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want.
Oh, not
The layer,
100, but
yeah,
100%.
percent, yeah.
Okay.
And so
Mm.
once you've done that, then you can go a little bit further down, set your padding to this container, so you still have a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of margin on both sides. So there would be, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I probably, if you go back, cancel that Command
Yeah.
Z. If you go at the bottom, like I've got a top margin.
Ah, okay. So then you can set them
Yeah,
separately. So if we
yeah,
do 12 or 24, maybe 24.
Yeah. Then you do 24 each side, and then it's like
Yeah, and then
supposedly
this is a
nicely
little too
centered.
big, so we need to say that that's also going to be 100%. Or maybe, can we do set it to being like relative or
You
fit
can
content or
probably,
fill?
if it,
Fill!
yeah.
There we go.
So you see, it's like a few clicks away from
Yeah.
being actually nicely working on each and every view that you have. And yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
I think
it's
something weird happened with this container. It like moved off to the side.
yeah. I want to see what's
It's got
happened
a
there.
position of 204. Oh, it's probably, maybe you did it like on this large one, you wanted it to be off to the side, like 240 from this side, and then that carries over or something. No, it
Yeah,
doesn't say that there.
yeah.
Well,
Um,
it, which container is it that it's
actually,
it's the container inside profile top.
yeah,
So yeah.
that's 100%. Then you've got the other container that's 720,
Hmm.
and then the avatar is, perhaps it should be relative. Oh, it shouldn't be relative.
So if I do this one, then why are you off to the side? You are off to the side. And then, okay, so you want to do 0 there. And then we could do a padding of 24 to the left. We'll clean all this up after the stream, but I'm just playing here. But it's pretty, I mean, look at me just like going here and just like changing things with really no knowledge at all of this side of Framer.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Like once you understand the way that it works, you can really quickly put your elements where you want them to be.
Oh, now I did something weird. My container is off to oh, it's a minus. Oh, it's because it's fixed. So if we do relative on this one and then 100%, maybe that would work. Yeah, now it's like back into frame at least. And then I can give it a padding to the side of 20 to the left of 24 or something. We'll figure it out. Oh, it's because there's an avatar container in here. That's why. Now I think I get it. Well, you get to play with that. But what? So then, if we click publish, I'm just going to do publish on this one, even though it's not perfect, just so we can have a little bit of a look. And look, oh, did you see that? That was, I mean, that was amazing. I don't know if you saw that, but before I hit update, I shouldn't have hit update. It said changes, and it said how many changes and who made the changes that I was going to update.
You want to
So
do that again?
oh boy, let's do some, like, I'm going to move something, you move something, and we can like have a little bit of a look on. I'm going to change this one. I'm going to say that it's 72 size just to see. And then if I went to publish, loading changes, look at that. At home, Damien has done some changes and I've done some changes. And that might be, if you're coming from the no code world, you know, this might not be revolutionary, but for me, coming from the coding side of things, like, whoo, this is, or actually even, you know, because I feel like a lot of the times I played around with no code tools, some of the issues I've had is that it has been hard to track changes and track kind of the updates and being able to roll back. So this looks
Yeah, I don't know if you click home there, can you see the actual changes that were made?
No, I
Because
don't think
it's a
so.
link, right? Because
Yeah,
that would be
no,
quite powerful. It would be like almost the equivalent of branches on Git.
exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, we can hope. Like it looks like it looks like a link. So maybe that's what they're working on. That you should be able to click there and actually see like a little bit of information about what has changed.
Yeah.
But I should probably, what I'm wondering now is that when I do I undo my changes or your changes? I undo my changes. Good work. Good work, Framer. I do want to move mine over also in the little one, not mine,
Yeah.
but and we can have a look. And then we can change the top bar later. Because I'm guessing we'd need a completely different menu on on such a small screen as a phone. And then we need to fix these, but we'll do that after the fact.
This one.
This is just, I know what I'm doing this Easter holiday. I am binge watching Framer content and learning to design in Framer.
It is actually a very good resource if you want to do that. It's called Framer University. And yeah.
Is it by Framer or is it by somebody else?
Somebody else, and he's got really good content, and I follow him on Twitter. He's actually really good because sometimes he takes like landing pages that he sees in the wild, that he enjoys a specific behavior on the landing page, and then he's trying to recreate that in Framer. And then he's like always offering the remix for you to play with. So
that is super cool. And he's still not charging people money?
No.
Okay, I'm going to get on this week because I have a feeling there's going to be some monetization here happening at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, it probably has ideas on how to go about that. But it's it's really good resource if you want to dive deeper.
Okay, this is my Easter holiday. Is somebody else want to learn Framer with me? Should we make a little cohort and go through all of these lessons together? Bento cards. I love this new design that they call bento, where you have like these large, I don't know if he's drawn them, but like the bento menus are the ones where you have like little cards for as the menu, because it looks like a bento box. I love how all of these like different UI things have gotten food names. You have the hamburger menu.
I prefer when there's food in there.
Yeah, it's the hamburger menu. You got the kebab menu, the one with the 3 little dots. I've heard being called the kebab menu, and then this is the bento menu.
I think there's only one reason that it's called that. It's like the people that gave these behavioral design things were pretty angry when they found the name.
That's probably it. They were like, okay, I should have. So these are like the bento card. This is what we call bento cards, right? This like kind of stacked like this. And these ones weren't menus, but I've seen them be menus where you maybe have you have a little bit of information about each feature of your SaaS, for instance, and you click it and it opens the feature page. So it can also be used as like a menu. Yeah, it's probably lots of developers not leaving their desk and being super hungry and then calling all of the UI food items.
That's probably the only reason. I can't find any other one.
Yeah, that must be the only one, because if you are a stereotypical developer, all you do is drink coffee or Coca-Cola, and that's it. So you get hungry at some point. Okay, let's go.
Say I'm kind of guilty of doing the same, because I was doing like a project that had to do with ramen profitable things that the indie hacker community is into.
Yeah.
And for that specific project, I had to do like a hamburger menu for mobile. And what I did is I turned that hamburger into ramen chopsticks. So it's like a ramen chopsticks menu now. So,
well, then it was on point for the brand, because it was the ramen profitability or profitable. It's like an indie hacker community, isn't it? About being ramen profitable is like the first step of your startup where you can afford buying ramen noodles, I guess. Or it's like before you become profitable. Or is it ramen? Anyway, I am mixed mind. I think we need to do some more work behind the scenes, because it jumps a little bit up and down, but look at that. I do understand like what's going on here, which is super cool. And the same thing here, we kind of need to do the 100% in the wider size. So we'll probably need to do more of those like relative sizes and relative positioning than the absolute positioning, to get it to flow when we go back and forth. And this is the same thing with CSS. If you have like a lot of breakpoints in your CSS, things will jump up and down. And if you are in more of the dev space and not the framer space, I recommend Every Layout, I think it's called. Every Layout, which is how to do a lot of the typical layouts, but in CSS, and most of them, I think all of them or none of them use breakpoints. They all are just fluid because they use different CSS tricks to make it completely fluid instead of like using instead of using breakpoints. So this is also a resource I highly recommend if you are more on the dev side of things. And then we had Framer University if you are on the Framer side of things, the space. But that's what, like, we kind of did what I had set out to do, but we do have a little bit more time. So I was thinking, if you make these posts link to a link to the page, and then I'll try and YOLO code or YOLO update the code override we have so that the members only lock is removed when the person is logged in.
Yeah, I'll look into the links. My
And then
instinct
I'll have a
was,
look at this.
yeah, my instinct was that you could perhaps add a. They have a, like in the right sidebar, they have a link
Mm-hmm.
property. It's not
Yeah.
showing up on those. Like if you edit the component or you go inside the component, you'll see that
Mm-hmm.
link thing. At
Okay.
the top right. But
Yep.
then if you click that and see what happens, the thing is that it's linking to a specific page. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's what you want when you are doing this, because the link is going to change for
But maybe we
every.
use this link, because didn't we give it, because we had to be able to get the slug into
Mm-hmm.
this post item. Didn't we do that in that first stream where we managed to get the
Yeah, we got the
we
slug there.
yeah, we got the slug there, so then maybe we can use the slug. There we have the slug.
Yeah, yeah. Perhaps it works if you do it the way you were doing it. If you go inside
Yeah. Or did you have
component,
another solution? I'll go with your solution if I was just
uh,
being excited.
variable link. Could try that.
Okay, do we want to publish and see if that works? So what we did now is set it to the link that comes through the CMS item, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah, you published. Look at that. I could even see him publishing. Look, this is look at this multiplayer environment. I mean, if you're coding together with somebody, that you code your piece, they code your piece, you push it to GitHub, you work on merging the conflicts, and then you can go to production. But here I could like see that Damien was doing changes and he pushed to production
and
or
it
to
doesn't
test.
work.
I mean, and it
And
doesn't
it
work,
does.
but at
Yeah,
least I could see the work being done.
yeah.
But what about, so create variable, what about creating a variable then?
Oh, I found something.
Sorry, now I'm
Since
clicking the same things.
That's if you go back home and then you
Yeah,
click on one of those post items,
yeah.
you now should have. Oh, where was it? I had it there.
Because I feel like it
No.
should be on this, like, no, that was edit component, but we had,
Did you remove what we had? Yeah, you removed it.
yes, yeah.
Can you go back inside the component, add the
Mm-hmm.
link the way that you had it,
Link,
and then if you go
yeah,
back home
yeah.
and then you click
Oh,
on
and now we can give
now
it the
there's the link.
link.
Yeah,
And then we use post slug. Oh, okay.
and that should do it. I'm
And then we
assuming.
could probably use that link variables instead of that slug that we added ourselves in our code
Uh,
override. I'll have a look at that afterwards. Let's
yeah,
publish this and see if it works. I love figuring things out on air. We're like doing it. Because if I were sitting and doing this by myself now, I would probably have been on Twitter like 10 times because it didn't work and I got distracted. But now we're like on point. We're doing it. Okay, so
but
let's
does
see.
it work?
Yes, it
Hey,
works.
there you go.
And then if I click on this locked one, no, I'm sent back because no, you are not allowed to see the locked one.
Perhaps we should have something that says once you click the locked one,
Mm-hmm.
instead of going back to where it was, we should perhaps have a modal that says this content is locked, subscribe if you want to see it, and then that's another way to make sure that people subscribe, right?
Yeah. So one way we could do that is in here in the full access content. If we want to do it kind of the no code way where I don't have to code any overrides, we can do it here and we could say upgrade and we'll make an upgrade page or like, full access. And then when you are denied access to the page, Outseta will redirect you to the /full access page. And then on that page, you can do like a subscribe design or like an upgrade design.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think once we do the cleanup, we should probably have the design for that, because then that makes the whole experience a lot better.
Absolutely. So I think we'll make one template that kind of uses some of these Outseta features like out of the box, like how it comes with Outseta, and that works with most of the tools website builders you use. And then I'll make a more like advanced version where we do more with code overrides. So instead of then sending you back to this different page, we could do like a pop-up, like you said, or we can like do more interesting user flows. But this is kind of what comes out of the box, and I think we should have support that first for the template. Yeah.
Cool.
So, well, let's call it upgrade. Well, I need to come up with some better names for these things because we can't call it locked and upgrade and full access. It's super boring. I'll talk to Jeff, the co-founder at Outseta and also a writer, about some better names for these.
Very good.
I'm not a copywriter. But I'll put that there because it takes about, as I said, maybe 10 minutes to fully propagate. So I'll just use upgrade for now, and we can make that page at some point. Okay, so then I should go into the code override we made and change it out so we can use this link property instead of our slug property that we kind of added in there, and see if that is possible.
Cool.
So if we go to assets and we had our fans, we have our Outseta overrides. These you can get. I'll put the link in the description. These are from the Outseta Remix Beta project that we have out that we would love people to use and give me feedback on if they work the way you expect them to work. It lets you do all of the fun stuff that we did on Wednesday and we've shown now with a login and register button and a profile button and stuff like that. But then we also have this fan funded that we worked on. And here I used a slug, but it seems like we should be able to have a link. And then we want to do some URL manipulation, because if I hover over this, I imagine the URL is the full URL, but we just want to look at the last part that is post locked. So I'm going to make this bigger. We want to check if the path portion of the link starts with, and then the same thing we put into our full access content group here, post locked. That's what we want to check for. So post locked. And to do so, we get a link. I'm imagining the link is a string, but I don't know. So let's do slug that we already had, so it works, and then link. And then I'll console log the link to see what we got. Console log the link. Okay. And then if I did play, but no, that's what we didn't figure out how to do, where I can like, well, here, components, post item. No, post item. The other post item there. And this was not what I ended up going home, didn't I? And just do play here and then see what I got out in the console log. So look at the console log. We are getting the link. Yes, and it is a string. So what I need to do then is that I need to make it into, and we need to go back to our code, just here. Got to keep my I'm going to get used to this, but this is a string. So we'll need to make it into URL. So we'll do link URL equals new URL. And the reason I want to put it into a URL is because then I can ask for the path or the domain, or the domain. Like I don't have to do a lot of string magic by myself. I can use the built-in URL object from JavaScript. So we'll put in the full URL, which is the link. And then I should be able to do const path equals, and then link URL path name. So then I have the path, which is then should be the same as the slug. So I'll do path, and then we'll do variant path starts with, and then it's post locked, because the slug didn't have the full path. It had only that last part. So we need to put the post in there. And then hopefully this works. Let's see. So you should always, when you play with links, or I mean URLs, you should always use the URL, what's it called? Class from JavaScript, because it will make your life so much easier. Path, variant path starts with post locked, then it should be locked, or it should be primary. Okay, let's go home. Let's play. And failed to construct URL, invalid URL. See, that didn't help me. So that, I was just like saying, you should always use that, and now it didn't work. Story of my life, log link. So didn't we get the full? Maybe we didn't get the HTTPS part. Let's see, link, new URL. It is supposed to be able to give me a URL as a string and then the base. Yeah, so that should be all I need. And then link URL, link URL. So let's try again. And we'll do slug. And I'll use slug just to make it work again. Okay, let's have a look at this link again then. Well, I needed to comment out all of this. So this is me YOLO coding at the end. Ula, who's watching in the comments here, he knows that I do this. And every time he's like, don't. Live a life on the... Oh, see, I didn't look at it good enough. The link is actually the path name, so we didn't have to do the... Sometimes, Benedicta, sometimes you need to look at what you're doing. Okay, so back to it. We didn't have to do all that fun string, that URL stuff. But if the link had contained the domain, a good way to getting the path name is how I did it. But we don't need to do that because the link was actually just the path name. So... Okay, so Ula says, no, no YOLO. YOLO is bad juju. But we made it work in the end, hopefully. Well, we haven't made it work yet because I haven't actually checked if this works. I just assume it works. So I need to figure out a better way, I think, of, when you're creating a code overrides and seeing how it should be done. So now it's at least not failing, but it's not working. So maybe I'll have to figure this out. And I think it was with a slash. That's the problem. That might be the problem. This is why I should copy paste things. There we go. Works. So if we go back, then we can remove this whole slug part that we had as a hidden... Remember, we added it like a hidden thing, so we need to remove it from this.
Yeah, it was in the CMS fields.
Yeah, so I think it was it this one? The title here that we had set to, yeah, this is the slug. So then we can just remove this whole thing, because we tried on Monday to do this and we didn't find a way to get access to that slug inside of the code override. So we added the slug as a variant, no, not as variant, as a variable to our post item component, and then we sent the slug in. But we could have used the link variable. So if we go home again now, we don't have that link slug, and we have this link variable instead on our post item, and that is set to the post page. So let's publish again. And I shall update my blog post on the subject, because I wrote a blog post that talks about select post variant with a code override in Framer, and I did all of that slug stuff, and then I had the little gotcha here that you needed to add a hidden slug, but then I can remove all of that and say that you can use the link way of doing it instead. Cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. So let's see again. Yes, if you click it, you're sent back to the upgrade page that we need to make. And we log in. Queen at Ray codes, testing, log in. You are logged in. We can see my profile, and well, yeah, that's what we haven't done yet. Now that you're logged in, I need to remove this lock, but if you click it now, at least you get to the page. So what I need to do, and I'm going to do that off stream, is that in this fan funded here with the correct variant, we need to check that if user is logged in, use the primary variant anyway. And I'll put that as a to-do. Yeah. Good.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we got still a little bit of work before publishing that template. But I guess that was part of the fun. Building,
it's part of the fun.
Building what we can online and then like fine-tuning it offline.
Yes. And then I'll probably when it's all done, I'll make a edited video on the Outseta channel about how to use the template, because the people using this template don't really need to know how to make it and how to code all these overrides. They will kind of get that with the template, and we'll showcase how to use it. Yeah. Nice. So cool. I just keep saying it. Like, Framer should just clip all of these streams every time. I'm like, wow, Framer, this is awesome, Framer. I will not have a job anymore, Framer. Well, I'll become a Framer developer instead. We were actually, Ola, who's once in the comment there, who's my partner, we were at the party yesterday, and I ended up pitching this lady from the marketing department of a smaller, well, it's not really a startup anymore, but like a smaller company. And she was talking about, she said something, oh, it's hard to like talk to the developer sometimes for me being a marketing person. And then she mentioned something about the CMS. And I was like, well, you shouldn't really need to talk to the developers when it comes to the CMS. You should be using something like Framer, where you kind of get a CMS and you don't really need to talk to the developers to get a, change in your blog post design out.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? She was like taking notes on her phone. She was like, Framer. And I told her, like, you need to tell the developers that they can even extend it with a higher order React function or component. And she was like, what? I'm writing this down.
There you go. New customer.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if I want to. I'll send her to you. And
sounds good.
You build the site. Yeah. I guess at this, we only need to wave awkwardly. I'll do a little bit of a recap that we could make into a snippet. Well, I guess I already did, because I went through all that we've made, and I could use that. So we're good. We're good.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good. Well, this was a lot of fun.
Ooh. There we are. Let's be the big us. Yes, this was a lot of fun, and thank you for showing me. I did learn some things that I haven't figured out on my own with Framer, and like thinking. I like that you told me that it's kind of like, you know, Flexbox, because that I do know Flexbox, and I can use that mental model when working in Framer. And
I think that was the best way to explain it to you. And it really is the way that it works. So, I mean, I've done a fair bit of coding myself using Flexbox, and once I realized that Framer was working that way, I was like, oh, that's actually just the way Flexbox works. So yeah, it's really good.
see, now I want to YOLO go in and look at the code, that the HTML that is being rendered on the page, and see if it's actually Flexbox they're using. But I'm not going to YOLO anymore, but I will dive into that as soon as we get off this stream. Yeah. But anyway, it's been fun. We might do some of these in the future as well, I think, especially if we start creating some advanced Framer components and Framer templates. That could be cool. And check the description for links to both Damien and I, and of course Outseta, that I work as a developer advocate for. And we are on these streams will be available on the Outseta YouTube channel forever and ever. So if you need to come back and reference them, there you will find them.
Very good.
I guess that's it. And we got some praise. I'll leave that up there. And we'll wave awkwardly while we end the stream, as always.
All right.